Welcome to our presentation, From Homework to Home Learning, or how do we put the learning in the work we ask students to do at home? The recent COVID-19 pandemic has brought about dramatic changes and challenges to our personal lives and certainly our professional lives. Many believe that schools as we know them will not be the same when we return next school year. That's why I believe this topic of this webinar is so timely and important. My name is Harvey Silver. I'm president and founder of Silver Strong and Associates Thoughtful Educational Press. We've been working with schools for over 40 years and known for our practical, teacher-ready approach to professional development. And we've applied that approach now to online professional development as well. Well, the world has changed dramatically. Our mission as a company hasn't changed. The mission of the Thoughtful Classroom has always been this: to help schools develop simple but deep solutions to challenges that stand in the way of student learning. And what I mean by simple, easy to put into practice, easy to comprehend, easy to make work in the classroom. But deep meaning that if you use the tools and the techniques we're going to share, it will have real impact in terms of student learning. For those who've worked with the Thoughtful Classroom over the years, you know that our mission and our motto is very simple. It's all about the learning. When we talk about learning, we're not just talking about student learning, we're talking about adult learning as well. How many of you believe that the more our teachers and our leaders and our administrators learn, the more our students learn? But today, it's so important that we enhance family learning, that we enhance the learning of parents so that they can better support their children in the learning process. And as we say in the Thoughtful Classroom, it's all about the learning. And that's why we've developed our recent initiative to help schools address some of the challenges that they are trying to deal with when it comes to developing home learning experiences. And here are some of the questions that we've heard. How do we create effective and engaging and equitable home learning experiences? Effective that address the learning outcomes that teachers want to achieve, engaging that students find the work enticing and meaningful and put forth the necessary energy to promote the learning, and equitable in that it provides an equal opportunity for all our students to succeed. How do we escape the busy work trap, a set of packets that need to be accomplished to get the work done, rather than work that really promotes students' thinking? See, how you teach has a dramatic impact not only on what students are learning, but how they learn to think. And thinking is really the name of the game. And how do we maximize school and family collaboration to support student learning? And how do we engage this important triangle of the teacher, the family, working together to support the student in their learning? Those are some of the critical questions that we've addressed in our initiative, From Homework to Home Learning, to put the learning into the work that we assign and that we have students do when they're home. So let's address this question. What's the difference between homework and home learning? Often students view homework as a chore, something to get done as soon as possible so that they can do the things that they prefer to do at home. But we really want to make sure that that work that students are engaged in really is learning work. So how do we move from homework to home learning? So let's look at an example and show you what we mean by home learning. This is a third grade student, Lily, and this is a reflection at the end of the week that demonstrates her learning. And let's see what we can learn about what we mean by home learning when we unpack this work. And Lily writes, I know I have learned something well when I immediately know the answer and can explain it to someone else. This week I learned about fractured fairy tales. I watched a video explaining what it is and read a couple of books that are on fractured fairy tales. Then every day I mapped out one part of my own fractured fairy tale. First, I picked out my main characters and setting. Then I picked out a problem and solution. For social studies, I used window notes to help me learn about early colonial times. I also learned I can read a whole chapter book in one day, which was an amazing feat. But I still miss my teachers, friends, and soccer team. So let's look closely at Lily's reflection and what this means for home learning. And one of the most important things in home learning is to create a personal definition of what learning means. See, Lily understands that learning means it's not only that I can find the answer, but I can explain, which demonstrates I can understand what I'm learning. It's so important that students have a definition of what it means to learn. Learning means you're getting better. Learning means you're learning something you didn't know about yet. Learning means that you can explain it to someone else or you can teach it to yourself. Learning means you're able to apply what you've learned to produce a product. This is so critical in terms of understanding home learning. A second thing is that you need to make sure that we've addressed the relevant content. And if you look at Lily's reflection, she writes about how she's really learned the content by watching a video, by reading a number of fractured fairy tales. She's really ready to produce a meaningful product. Some other important characteristics of home learning is that the work needs to be engaging and that we need to create the skills and the habits of mind where the student can be self-directed. And we want to have less busy work and more products or performances that demonstrate the learning. And in this case, Lily is mapping out her fairy tale, mapping out her characters, her setting, picking out a problem and a solution. And she's being challenged to create her own fairy tale, her own fractured fairy tale. She's given choice as to what she wants that to be. And she's also being given the opportunity to be creative. And these are the kinds of things that really motivate students in the kind of work that we want them to produce. Lily also the teacher is showing Lily and teaching Lily a variety of tools that help her achieve her goals. Tools like Map It Out and tools like window notes to help her really comprehend what she's reading. And Lily has also set her own personal learning goals. Boy, look at Lily's excitement about reading an entire chapter book in one day. What an amazing feat, as Lily writes. See, these are the ingredients that really make a difference in what we talk about homework rather than home learning. So, what are some of the questions that need to be addressed to really produce home learning? And the real question that's critical is the how do we do this and how can we support you in this effort? And so at the Thoughtful Classroom, we make the how easy because we provide practical tools, easy to implement, teacher ready to make that home learning experience more engaging and more effective. We also work with teachers to integrate these tools into your existing content. And it doesn't matter whether this is a kindergarten class or a high school calculus class, our tools are appropriate for any content area, for any grade level, and you can immediately integrate them into the work that you're already engaged in. And last, we provide training and coaching and support for teachers, leaders, students, and families. So this is not a one-shot PD online. Our coaches and our staff are available for coaching, for giving you feedback, for guiding you through the process, and for supporting not only teachers, but supporting students in using the tools that we talk about, and also supporting families. So when we do this, we're able to meet specific challenges. And here are some of the challenges that schools have asked us to design our Thoughtful Classroom professional development. How do we keep students actively engaged? How do we build the thinking skills for reading for understanding, for communication and writing and speaking and mathematical problem solving that students will need to be successful learners? How do we assure mastery of content and skills so that our students are not falling behind or at best treading water? How do we really develop mastery of very specific content and skills that we want students to walk away so that they're better prepared for next year's learning? And how do we help teachers adapt their existing lessons to make home learning more effective? That really is the focus of our online PD and our coaching and our support. Tools is really the how. We have tools that you can use in any content area that are teacher ready, that are simple to use to address those challenges that you face. Our toolbooks are all award-winning books, and we're so proud because these awards are given by teachers who see the value and the relevance of the tools and the practicality of using those tools. We're interested in meeting the challenge. If you're interested in learning more about our professional development and our support and how we can work with you, we're here to help schools across the country transform from homework to home learning. We can help. Contact us through email, on our website, or a phone, and arrange for an opportunity to meet with one of our consultants so that we can guide you in the process of developing an online professional development program that really addresses and meets your needs, that is both meaningful and, most importantly, manageable to be able to put into practice. Well, we've been talking about challenges in this presentation, and the challenges are many as we transform schools. And when you look at a challenge, it can be an obstacle. And certainly there are so many obstacles that schools have been able to address to begin to establish this home learning experience. Obstacles like, how do we feed all of the children that we need to? How do we make sure that everybody has the technology that's necessary? How do we make sure that parents and our students are able to get online and how can use the right programming format? The obstacles are many and we don't deny them. But with every challenge, there's opportunities. And we really see this time period as really an opportunity to make a dramatic shift from, quote, homework to home learning, an opportunity to really develop students' ability to become more self-directed learners, to take greater responsibility for their learning, to become better thinkers, to become more fluent in the use of technology as a tool for learning and for thinking. It's an opportunity to develop teachers' abilities to design and deliver instruction, to expand their repertoire of instructional techniques and strategies. And it's an opportunity to really build a stronger relationship between the school and the home and families, and how we work together to really support the learning of the child. See, it's all about the learning. It's all about the challenge. John Adams wrote, "Every problem is an opportunity in disguise." Let's make this challenge of COVID-19 an opportunity to really transform how we deliver education in a more meaningful and manageable way that really prepares students for the future and makes a difference in their learning. Thank you for attending our session from homework to home learning. We look forward to hearing from you and talking more about your challenges and how we can use our tool approach to address them.